for Dr. Steve Tomlinson.
Well, good evening. It's an honor really to be here to support Catherine. And I love to see these purple shirts. Really, I support that we go back to the system that we had previously, where people got in on their own merit. And that meant that you ran as an individual. And people decided to vote for you if they felt that you merited it. You really have to be a caring individual that's going to look after the interests of all your constituents. So Catherine, we know that you're that kind of representative. Catherine is a well-rounded, accomplished type of individual. You know, she just didn't come from nowhere, out of the blue, and decide to run in politics. I mean, she's been around a long time helping the community as a social worker. You've done a splendid job helping individuals with all the various problems that they had. And I believe that you'll do no less as a representative, Catherine.
And you showing up every day in your life. I am going to never stop showing up in my life. I'm going to get what's there for me. You might knock me down today, but I'm getting back up. Okay? Because I'm not giving up hope. As long as there's life, there's hope, right? So that's what we need to be breathing into our people. In the next 3 weeks, that's what I want you all to be considering. Hope. And how you survive in your country. I'm not impressed with the government. I'm not. Dr. Tomlinson talked a lot about them. I believe one of them really is into elitist. I call them an elitist government. They like the money and they like the money people. Unfortunately, most Caymanians aren't the money and the money people. So what happens to them? So I'm concerned about that. Yesterday, somebody said that the premier said, don't vote for the independents. They're out there talking and they can't do anything by themselves. You can only do it as a group. You know what I heard when they told me that? I thought, so he knows why he hasn't stood up for Caymanians then.
Yes, exactly.
Ain't that something?
Exactly.
So he knows what he's been doing this whole time. Imagine, he knows exactly that the only way you can get it done, because that's what he's saying, the only way you can get it done is with a group. So then why haven't you done for Caymanians? So that means that you've on purpose not done for Caymanians. You've on purpose made other things priorities other than Caymanians in their own country. And that is just not good enough. Okay? Remember that you are the employers for the people that are employed right now, that have been employed for 4 years, that have not showed up at your doorstep for 4 years. We work for you. We work for you. So if in 4 years I've not showed up to give you anything, to say anything to you, to show you anything, to help you, help your children, then I've failed you. Okay? It is very, very serious. This is a very, very serious election. Make no mistake about that. This is your future. This is your children's future. Okay? You saw the story about me and how I educated myself and educated my children. I'm here to fight for you and your children. So I want you to help me fight for you. Okay? This is about me helping to fight for you. I am just one woman. That's true. But one woman raised $20,000 in 1 month to take children to New York. One woman raised $20,000 the following year and took 25 children that lived in the trailer homes to Miami. One woman has done women's retreats since 2001. One woman. That's Catherine Tyson. One woman. Okay? One woman goes straight home after work. She doesn't have time to go in the bar. Okay? So, because if you want to find your representatives, you know where you can find them. Unless they're having a meeting the same time as me. Because for some reason, it seems that everything has to be about trickery. I've also heard from that administration, I've heard that this is a numbers game. But I'm here to tell you this is not a numbers game. This is a people game.
That's right.
We're not numbers. We're people. And if you think I'm a number and you're going to trick me into getting you back in, then that means you're taking me for a fool. People, do not be taken for a fool this time, okay? Do not allow people to take you for a fool. Look around and see what has been done. Don't let them tell you what they're going to do or where they're going to be in 4 years. Just go on memory. Just don't lose your memory as we get closer to election day, okay? Because it is crucial. It is crucial for you to remember and for you to look at somebody like myself. Look at the work I have done. Look what I have proven to you that I will do without resources, without payment, without anything. And in fact, if they took away the salary tomorrow, I'd still stand here and run. Why? Because I'm not here for a job. I don't need a job. I have 3 big kids. I beg them for money.
Yes.
That's how it is, right? That's why I help raise them and educate them so I can get money from them now. So I don't need money.
That's right.
I used to need money when they were small, when I was struggling. I don't need it now. Okay?
Invest in your children.
We need to look at pull-out programs where we're pulling out our special needs children from classes. We have gifted children in our schools that we're not addressing. We have children that are speaking English as a second language. Caymanians are looking very different now, you know. We can't just say that Caymanians are the people born here, because if you have Caymanian status, you're a Caymanian. So we have to start looking at addressing all of our needs. Like I said before, free tutoring is absolutely necessary and paramount. That's where we should be spending money. Free tutoring. Children need free tutoring. Literacy. We should have a national literacy program. It should be a state of emergency that we are graduating 75% of students that don't know how to read or write. It should be a national emergency. We have to prepare our children for tomorrow. If we do not prepare them for tomorrow, we are failing our country. What is going to happen to the Caymanian then if we're not preparing them for tomorrow? We need to take care of our young people. One teacher cannot be expected to do everything in one 6-hour or 7-hour period. It is unrealistic. A recruiting of our teachers is also very, very important. When I say recruitment, I'm very serious about it. We need to be recruiting the right people when we are putting them in schools with our children. If salary is the problem, well, let's look at the salary then. Let's stop paying money on bricks and mortar. Let's start paying money on programs. Let's start paying money on education, educational needs, educational tools.
Yes.
Let's start paying money on staffing. Okay, proper staffing.
Yes.
All right, let's stop playing games. We've been playing games for far too long, and we need to stop it, because who we're failing is our children. And you know what? This is a very dangerous game that we're playing. When we're failing our children, it's a dangerous game. From a community level, I would love to see a community committee. Do you all know that if there's a committee in the Windsor Park area? Do you all know?
No.
The district council. Do you all know about that? Okay, that's the thing. It shouldn't be a secret. Everybody should know about it. Okay, and everybody should have an opportunity to be a part of it. And that's how you actively start to collaborate together to make better decisions, right? In order for you know what's happening, right? So you're able to then work together and you get the best and the brightest ideas. This is something that I propose needs to happen, especially with constituencies. We need to involve everybody in order for you to know what is happening within your neighborhood. When you have involvement with people that have a different outlook, that can show you different angles, that is how we should be making decisions. We shouldn't be making decisions where one group of people are deciding something and they have not discussed it with the people that it will affect. That is where we're failing. Community has been forgotten for far too long. And it is time for us to get the representation that is going to remember us, okay? So remember, when voting day comes, remember what has happened. Remember where you're going. Don't worry about what the hype that's out there. Don't worry about all the words that are trying to tell you what's not going to happen. If you wash that house, that legislative assembly house out clean and put in new people, we wouldn't do as bad as we're doing right now. I truly believe all of the great growth and wonderful stuff that they've done for the economy, for the next 4 years, let's focus on Caymanians then. How about that? Isn't that a good idea? For the next 4 years, let's focus on Caymanians. So great, thank you for building the economy, but when I can't go to the public beach anymore because you sold out that part of the road, and whenever I go, I try to go get a little dip in the sea, I see private property and they're calling the police to report me being on their property, I'm concerned. So tell me, who are we fighting for in this country? Nobody should be suffering in this constituency. This constituency is small enough for us to know that. We've gone back. We need to go back to the being your brother's keeper. That is the truth. That's what we all are trying to represent. Every single one of those independents that you hear out there, that's most of our story is that. How do we get back to a system where we actually care about one another? How can you sleep at night when you know that people are not doing well in your country, that people are homeless? As a social worker, I can tell you people are in some serious situations, and those are those aren't the pretty pictures and the pretty roads that you see in Cayman. Those are when you go down in the roads. We're down in Windsor Park, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? How people are living.
Sometimes you've got a job and still can't survive.
Sometimes they have the job and they can't survive. They're barely making it. You are your own rescue. Remember that. You are the only person that's going to help yourself. Okay?
Yes.
So make sure that you get in front of those lines and you lead that charge. Don't let people tell you what your future looks like. You decide what your future looks like. You decide what your children's future looks like. You decide what you want to do next in your life. You take control of what happens next in your life. And stop allowing people who are not performing to continue to work. Because if you had a job, think about it, if you had a job and you weren't performing, would you keep that job?
No.
Nobody would pay you for this job. So what you need to do on May 24th is clean house.
Yes.
And get in who needs to get in. I'm going to be lobbying right away for a community center for the Windsor Park area. Absolutely. That is the first thing on my agenda. First thing, and I'm telling you, this is not an impossible thing. It is going to happen. When I was in that park in Windsor Park, I was doing the Family Fun Day. I looked across the way and I saw a building that's been looks like it's been in construction. And one of the young ladies, one of the constituents, said that was there when I was a little girl. Miss Margaret just said 40 years. I looked over there and I said, you know what should be in there? There should be a senior citizen center. There should be a food bank. There should be a clothes bank. There should be a training center. There should be free tutoring. There should be an after-school club. There should be summer programs in there. There should be free dance programs. There should be a cafeteria. I mean, I looked over there and I thought, if they gave that to Catherine Tyson, let me tell you what I would do for that. When you have things in your community and you have your own resources, it makes things that much easier for you. How come young people are not feeling that they're involved in this whole political process? You know, you're going to school and you don't know who your MLAs are. You don't know who your leaders are.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening in your country. When is it that you're going to take responsibility? So I think that we need to start incorporating our young people more and more in our discussions. We need to incorporate them more and more so that they understand that they're important. They're valued in this community. They're valued in the Cayman Islands. The progress is going so fast, and as you drive along the West Bay Road, as you drive along the Harkwell bypass, it is going so fast. I don't even know who made these decisions. No, we don't even know anything about it, right? And not to say that some progress isn't good, you know. But the problem with progress is the people need to keep up with it also.
Yes.
So if your people are not keeping up with your progress, then you are failing in some way.
Yeah.
And you cannot fail in the way that is your people that's being left behind.
Yeah.
So for me, I would say, let's just hold on for a second. Let's just breathe. Let the Caymanian people catch up. Okay? Let's get our schools up to par. Let's get our education up to par. Let's put free tutoring in our education system. Let's ensure that every single one of our young people can read by the time they get to year 3, year 4. I have a nephew. He's in year 2. He is reading. He reminds me of the age you're supposed to be when you're reading.
Yes.
Okay? You have year 6, year 7, year 10 and 11 that cannot read and write. We have to take this very serious. So I am not accepting anymore all of these fancy buildings that I can't even see my own people in. When I go out to eat at night, I don't see any Caymanians. Sometimes I'm in the bank, I don't see any Caymanians. Where are the Caymanians? $6 is not a minimum wage that should have even been considered. I can't imagine who sat at a table and made a decision about $6 an hour being a minimum wage. That's an insult. Imagine $240 for the week. So we need to equip our Caymanians so that we are able to stand shoulder to shoulder with our counterparts that are coming from other countries. It should absolutely be illegal to advertise a job outside of Cayman before it's advertised in Cayman. Okay? You should know when a job is being advertised in the Cayman Islands. And if we are not equipped to do a particular job, why is it that we are not being offered opportunities to get up to par? We not know what requirements we need to possess these jobs. Why are we not being given opportunities? Why do we have 2,000 Caymanians that are not working and maybe 1,500 of them that want to work? But why are our returning graduates coming from overseas with university degrees and cannot get a job in their own country? So be careful of all of the messages that you're getting. That's not correct. It is only just to just confuse your mind right now at a time like this. Okay? This is a very serious time. This is a very serious time, and I am a lone ranger. Yes, I am an independent candidate for Georgetown South. Yes, I am. I am just one woman. Yes, I am. But one woman that has kicked a lot of butt for a lot of people. And let me tell you something. I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So if you don't let them tell you anything about this one woman will have your back. One woman will show up every day. I'm not going to hide from you for 4 years. I can be one of them. Is if everybody shows up on May 24th and make sure they put an X next to Catherine Tyson's name. The age of retirement, it being changed was a good idea because 60 and 62 was a little bit unrealistic. I think that if at the time when you signed up, at that time 60 was the age, then that should be an option that they still respect. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm looking at it where before when they were pushing you out of a job at 60. So I don't agree with pushing you out of a job at 60. Because that's what was happening with a lot of people. As soon as they turned 60, they got retired immediately. And those people were suffering. Those people had mortgages, those people still had bills to pay, and they were actually retired and they no longer were able to make the salary. I'm very concerned about how we treat our elderly. I think it's very disrespectful. We have to now start incorporating our older people more in order for us to learn about our history. I think we've lost that. We need to now bring them out. We need to bring them into our life. They have a wealth of history. They have a wealth of knowledge about Cayman that we don't know. And if we don't start communing with them more, we're going to miss all of that. And for us to get back to our culture. I remember when town was so vibrant. When I was a young girl and I used to go with my grandmother and all of the ladies would be in the middle of town. When we talk about Georgetown, the central Georgetown and how nothing is happening, it's like everything has just been pushed all the way up to Cayman Bay, for instance. Why are we not embracing our own town? Open the stores until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Have places that we can sit down and we can just fellowship with one another. I knew I'd run one day, but I had little children and I had to raise them, and so it was never the right time. But I always knew I'd run in Georgetown because I'm from Georgetown originally. So I'm from Walker's Road, right across from Vigoro Nursery, right next to, it used to be called Wright's Jerk Place. It's called Seasoned to the Bone. Seasoned to the Bone. That's the name of the restaurant now. I'm from Walker's Road. I'm from this area. Before this was all built up and has houses and everything, they had mangoes. We used to come looking mangoes down in here. And I'd be on Smith Backadere running up and down and eating almonds and climbing my grandmother's almond tree. And this is my area. These are my people. I go door to door and people are calling me Rosita, Rosa, Miss Valerie granddaughter, Ida daughter. You for Truman? So the people know me. Yeah. The people are who helped raise me. Okay? So the people were there for me from the very beginning. And now they're getting older, but they remember me. And I remember them. I remember the ladies who shaped my life. Right? The men who, their husbands who were surrogate fathers for me. So that's the reason I decided to run in this area. I believe that as a community, we will build strength from each other. But we cannot do it by ourselves. We have to do it together. Remember, on May 24th, I am the clear choice. Put that X by my name so that we can turn this thing around and get Caymanians back on the map. Your future is in your hands. Make the right decisions because it is your future. And we want to make sure that we are doing it for our children, for our families, and for ourselves. Thank you all so much for coming. Thank you.